Welcome back to the Tool Crib. Today we're going to be looking at another Victorinox knife, and this one I find especially useful. This is the Victorinox Executive. Now this is going to be a 74mm knife frame size. It is a very pocketable model, and here's why I like this knife so much. First of all, for its namesake, it has a lot of features on here that I think are advantageous to someone who is an executive or someone who does work in an office environment. There's a lot of tools on here that I think are very nice for that individual. I also believe that this is a very good companion knife to about 3 different multi-tools, those being the Leatherman Rebar, the Super Tool 300, and the Victorinox Swiss tool. I think this is a good companion knife for all 3 of those full-size multi-tools, which for me personally, that's what my Victorinox knives are. They're just backup knives that add some little extra functionality that I don't necessarily get with full-size multi-tool. So I like this particular knife for a lot of those different reasons. Let's get through the specs real quick, and then we're going to get into the tool set, show you what makes the Victorinox Executive unique. So the weight on this one is a really lightweight 1.6 ounces or about 45 grams. Now, as we mentioned before, 74mm frame size, so 74mm overall length. That's going to translate to 2 and 15/16 of an inch, so just under 3 inches overall length. 22mm wide or 7/8 of an inch, so really narrow knife as well. It's really just a great pocket-friendly knife. It's only a 2-layer knife. So it's going to be very thin in profile, 3/8 of an inch or 9.5 millimeters. Makes it, just like I mentioned before, an outstandingly good pocket knife. It's one of those things that just disappears in your pocket. It really does. Also includes keychains, so if you do, this is kind of the large size of what I would think you would be able to put on a keychain pretty comfortably. But if you do want to wear it, put it on your key ring, you could also add a little suspension clip to that as well. So let's get into the tool set of the Executive. The first thing that we're going to look at is the knife blade on the Executive, and I gotta tell you, I like this blade. This blade is pretty thin in profile. Now, overall length on this is just going to be a little over 1.75 inches at 1 13/16 in overall length. What I like about this blade, though, because it is so thin in profile, and there's a couple of other 74mm knives that I like a lot, and I like the knife blades for the same reason, is this makes a fantastic little letter opener. That's something that, a task that I find myself doing a lot more than I would like to admit with my regular knife. So having something that would be a little bit more dedicated to that's a little thinner in profile, just makes a little better letter opener. Real easy to sharpen up the steel on a Vic as well. So I love this little blade for that purpose. Now the next tool, actually we're going to get to the little blade last. The next tool on here is really unique to this one. I don't know that I can remember any other Victorinox knife that have this particular implement. There may be 1 or 2 that I'm overlooking or not thinking about right now. But this is, what they call it out as is an orange peeler. So you got a little serrated edge up there on that knife blade. So I don't know how much citrus one needs to peel, but nonetheless, that is it does work. I've tried it. It works pretty good, actually. That little serrated blade will cut right through the skin on an orange or a grapefruit, and then it includes a little screwdriver up front. But what I think this one doubles as and works really well as is a little box opener. So if you're cutting through packaging tape, you know, the tape that seams up your cardboard boxes, that little blade actually does a very nice job of cutting through that, saves you a regular knife blade. So it's kind of a multi-function little thing here. I don't know, again, I don't know how much oranges that you're peeling, but if that's something that you're interested in for this particular one, then it's on here. Now the next tool, we're going to flip around here. Well, here's one tool that I do like on this, and this is one of the reasons why I think this makes a very good companion knife to a lot of multi-tools, is the fact that it has a pair of scissors. And even some of those multi-tools out there that do have scissors, I don't mind having a little extra pair of scissors like this, because when you're in an environment, let's say you're out to dinner or something, probably the last thing you want to do is be pulling out your larger multi-tool in order to use a little pair of scissors for whatever reason. And the reason I say out to dinner is because a lot of times I have young kids, and so I have to cut straws a lot, and it's just a little more, I guess, a little more sociably can't speak today. sociably acceptive to have a smaller pair of scissors on a little Victorinox, because who gets scared of a little Victorinox knife? So I want to bring in, this is the Mini Champ. Now this is a 58 millimeter. I wanted to show you the difference in size, and one of the reasons I like these 74 millimeter frame size, because it gives you quite a bit bigger scissors. Now, not to say that the 58s aren't good, they're also very good, but I do like having a little bit bigger pair of scissors. Now, the next tool is pretty unique to this. This is their nail cleaner and file, and I got to tell you, I like that they do it as a separate tool like this. Normally what you get with Victorinox is they'll put it where the pen blade would be, and you get a little bit smaller setup there, like something like in a Cadet, something of that nature. I like the fact that this is longer. I also love the fact that they have this nicely ground file in here. That makes an outstanding little nail file. And I love the fact that, you know, it's tapered on both ends, so it makes it no sharp edges on there. It's really nice and curved. Makes for a great nail cleaner, exactly what it was intended for. Now, for the scale tools, you got your standard. You have your tweezers, which always come in handy. And on the other side, a little toothpick, which again is another thing that always comes in handy. And one of the things I like about Victorinox, because of their toothpicks, I love the way that they're encased and they're sealed up from outside, you know, from your pocket basically. So you're not getting dirt and grime and all kinds of stuff in there. And then they're easy to sanitize and they're easy to replace as well. And then it offers the little keychain as well. Now, the last tool on here is really the only one that I disagree with. So they got a little 1.25" pen blade on here. And while this probably make a good little whittling blade if you need something like that, this is the one and only tool that I wish they would have put something different in. And because of the name Executive, I think one tool that would work really well in here is a package opener. And I'm going to get out the one here on the little Mini Champ. So this is the Mini Champ here. They call this their orange peeler, but this also doubles as a package opener. Now, I will say that it doesn't work as well as I'd hoped it would. It tends to just kind of slip out. The way the Leatherman Wingman and the Leatherman Rev are made, their package opener, this is the best one I've ever used. As a matter of fact, I tell you what, it's so good that when I did my Leatherman Super Surge, I took one out of a Leatherman Rev, and I installed it in the T-shank here so that it would fit, and I would have an onboard package opener to get through hard shell packaging, because I find that tool to be incredibly useful. Now, this is the one tool on here that I wish they would have put, instead of this little pen blade, they would have put a little package opener on here. And if they had that on here, I would find reasons to carry this knife and not have to have it on my Leatherman Surge, because I'd rather just pull out a little pocket knife, be a little easier to handle for opening up clamshell packages. It's the only knife or the only implement on here that I disagree with. I love the fact, actually, that it doesn't have bottle cap lifter and can opener and all that stuff on here, because I don't think every knife needs that. I don't think every multi-tool needs that either. Now, I talked about earlier why I think this is a very good companion knife for for all three, the Leatherman Rebar, the Leatherman Super Tool 300, and for the Victorinox Swiss Tool. The main reason is going to be because of the scissors, but I like some of the other functionality on here that you don't get in those multi-tools as well. Namely, you get tweezers and toothpick that are in the scale tools. The orange peeler box opener thing, that's I mean, how many people need that? But I do actually like the fact that it's on there, because I think it makes a very good little blade for getting through packaging tape. I love this blade, long thin profile blade, for using as a letter opener or as a backup blade. Just a number of different things on here, but the most important is probably going to be the scissors, and the fact that it's so lightweight, it's so easy to carry. It's a good standalone tool by itself, but it's also a fantastic companion tool for those that carry full-size plier-based multi-tools but don't necessarily have scissors or nail cleaning capability, toothpick, tweezers, all the little stuff that we mentioned, which makes this one of the better knives that I know of to use as a companion knife for one of your full-size multi-tools. Well, this has been a look at the Victorinox Executive. It is a very good little knife. I really like how pocketable it is, how lightweight, and how many features are actually on it. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one.